organizations. And of course, we have the beautiful Omotola Akan-Okon as our guest speaker for today. Before we get right into today's session, I would like to take us through, of course, the core values, mandates, and everything associated with the AHRP brand. Of course, we understand that our core value is embodied by the acronym CARRIER, C representing credibility, and of course, based on our brand, based on what we represent, we ensure that we demonstrate enviable character. The A represents authenticity. We are the real deal. And of course, as members and perhaps guests, you definitely must have seen that in whatever we do in terms of our programs or whatever information about the brand that gets out there. Responsibility, we know what to do and we actually do it. We also imbibe resilience. We make sure that we defy the odds, and if there is need be, we go over and beyond, right? Integrity is something that we definitely exemplify. We do not compromise ethics or standards, which the HR industry or profession represents. All right. We also make sure that we embody empathy and agility. In terms of our vision statement, we want to be the go-to source of competent human resource professionals who redefine the practice. We don't just want to be HR professionals. We want to make sure that we redefine the practice in terms of how it's perceived and how it is practiced across board in whatever organization that we as members of this great association find ourselves in. Our mission statement is creating value for human resource professionals and organizations through coaching, mentoring, research-based learning, and capacity development programs. Our cardinal mandate is to bridge the gap, the communal gap that exists between human resource professionals and different cadres. The second mandate is to serve as a platform for learning, capacity development, knowledge acquisition, and experience sharing. Like we all say, our DNA is continuous learning. We are shameless learners, and whatever opportunity we find to learn, we grab it. All right, so very quickly, before I bring our speaker on board, please confirm you can still hear me, please.
Yes, I can.
All right, fantastic. I can hear you. So before we bring our speaker on board, we would like to go through our profile and understand what she's done, what she's doing, and of course, what she intends to offer us during this session.
Omotola Akan-Okon is currently the People Culture Manager at Resource Energy, a renewable energy company with a diverse background across multiple industries to drive organizational growth. With a comprehensive 8 years of professional experience spanning the oil and gas, educational management, HR consulting, and renewable energy sectors, she has made a remarkable impact on each organization, showcasing her ability to drive positive change. As a strategic HR professional, Omotola brings her expertise in recruitment, performance management, succession planning, compensation and benefits, HR information systems, change management, HR strategy, employee engagement, learning and development, and HR analytics. Recognized for her exceptional interpersonal skills, she establishes relationships with employees across all levels. Her background in international relations not only endows her HR career with a distinctive perspective but also introduces a novel and captivating approach to the field. Omotola's educational qualifications include a bachelor's in secretarial administration and a master's in international human resources from Rome Business School. She is also an associate member of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, Nigeria ASIM, and the Society of Human Resource Management Foundation.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Omotola Akan-Okon takes us through today's earnings journey. Omotola, over to you.
Good evening, everyone. How are we doing? Thank you so much. Thank you, Prince. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Please go ahead.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, Prince. I was blushing while you were reading my profile. And I was like, I need to get this one, right? Thank you, everyone. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak on the platform. Thank you to the BOT, Mancom, everyone on this call. So we have a very, let me use the word delicious topic to talk about today. And I know that a lot of us, one way as an HR professional or as an employee, will have experienced different forms of, or we've already experienced employees. We have a lot of experience from, as a corporate person, I mean, as a 9 to 5 person, and then we'll talk about, and then definitely we'll have 1 or 2 inputs to share while I'm only anchoring this meeting because I want it to be as interactive as possible, because I'm going to talk and I'm going to ask a lot of us questions as we go on, and I'm not going to do it on myself. So I will want to ask, hearing, I mean, from the topic, which is strategies to enhancing employee experience in the corporate organization. Once we hear this topic, what comes to mind? I mean, when you hear, what comes to mind once like from getting the topic? Anybody want to share with us what comes to mind from the topic? Okay. I don't know if, okay. Hello, everyone. It sounded like I'm not the one talking, and I said it's going to be interactive. So anyone on the floor that wants to tell me from seeing the topic, what comes to mind, strategies for enhancing employee experience in the corporate organization. I mean, in your workplace, when you hear this topic, what comes to mind? Thank you, Emo. Emo said what we need to do differently to ensure that employees have a very memorable experience in their organizations. Any other person want to share your thoughts? Seeing this topic, what comes to mind? You can also unmute if you are in a very quiet environment and you want to share your thoughts on this. Thank you so much, Christiana. Christiana said how to keep employee constantly interested in the workplace. More? Do we have more? I have 58 people, 56 people on this call. Okay, with myself. Do you want to just tell me? Nobody, no wrong answer here. We are here to learn, and that's why it's going to be interactive. What comes to mind when you see this topic? You could also raise up your hand so that, yes, Sheyi said it means the strategies leaders or HR professional adopt to provide a great and conducive environment for employees. Awesome. Thank you so much, Sheyi. Olariwaju said how to ensure employees have good perception about our work environment. Thank you so much. And Chinyere said keeping them enthusiastic and engaged in the workplace. Awesome. Awesome. Do you have 1 or 2? And we can move. The screen is showing me something I don't understand. Sorry, I want to stop sharing. I would share back. Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. So I will start with sorry, I need to move this. I will start with Ben Witt's explanation of what an employee experience is. He said employee experience is the sum of all employee interaction with an organization. Everything from pre-hire to hire to retire, all of the different stages of employee experience employee faces in an organization, even to the exit. It is the intentional design of a compelling experience for employees in a work while employee engagement is an outcome of this workplace employer experience. Key things for me in this is employee interaction with organization, employee engagement. Also, intentional design, which is when you are designing your employee engagement strategy and everything you need to do to ensure the employee are engaged, you need to ensure that you have to be intentional in designing this your engagement strategy so that you will be able to engage them. I like one of the, I think it was MO definition of, or I think it was Online Raju's definition of employee experience. Is that actually spot on? Ensure that he said what we need to do differently to ensure that employee have memorable experience in their in the organization. And that is why we need to be, as an HR professional, we need to ensure that in developing our strategy, in developing everything we need to do, we need to ensure that we are intentional. We ensure that employees, internal stakeholders, everyone are engaged. You know, they also have a very enabling environment to ensure that they're giving it their best optimally. And then we have so I move to the next slide. Components of a positive employee experience. Don't forget that we also have both negative and positive employee experience. But then how do we create the positive one? Because this is our main focus for today. We want to tell me some of the elements you think that is part of the components of employee experience. I mentioned earlier that it's going to be engaging, so I'm going to come in a few minutes in to check, because the virtual session, so I'm not seeing a lot of people. I'm not seeing anybody because I'm only seeing my screen. How do we, what are the elements, what are the components of positive employee experience? You can type in the chat box. You know, we all have the different HR value chain, which is very, very simple. It gives you a bit of an idea of what different angles, different areas you can bring in your strategies. I mean, different areas you can focus to ensure that employees are engaged and motivated and they feel relaxed in the organization. Good reward recognitions, benefit also contribute to employee. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Amina. Culture, HRIS, performance management, awesome. Work-life balance, awesome. Wellness, thank you so much, Temitope. What other aspect? Flexibility, thank you. Onboarding, hiring process, onboarding, yes. Thank you so much, Shukura. Thank you so much, Olarewaju. So let's move on to what I have. And my first one is definitely onboarding and integration. I remember Doctor posted something on the platform earlier, and was talking about somebody's experience while having an interview and nobody heard it. So for me, I don't want to talk about that one. I'm just going to bring it as a perspective. I don't have a perspective on that, right? But I want to just bring something relatable in that regard. For onboarding, right? Do we know that our onboarding actually starts from the interview process? I mean, you are literally onboarding them. They are also looking at your environment. They're also looking at the way you ask questions. They're looking at your culture. And so let me quickly say something. I am going to come from two perspectives in this conversation. I'm going to come from both as an employee and also from an employer. So, both as the maybe intending or prospective candidate, and also as an existing staff or an existing employee. Onboarding, it is from these parts, even from your hiring, interviewing, your first call to the candidate to say, hi, good morning, my name is Omotola. We got your CV from a role, from an opening we have in our organization, this and this and this is about the role, this is what it entails, these are our expectations for this role, but we'd like to speak with you, blah, 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 blah. The person is already feeling welcome. The person is already feeling a bit of, yes, these people, I think I can come to this environment. I think I can come to this. They have a way of, they are receptive. Most of our experience starts from the employees' experience starts from that first call. And then you start the process, you communicate their first level, you communicate their third level, or maybe the different levels involved in the recruitment process. And then you come into the onboarding. I mean, yeah, glory be to God, they got hired. I mean, they send their offer, you send their offer letter, them the offer letter, you communicated the value and the benefits, and yes, they come in. And also onboarding starts from even the pre-onboarding sessions where you send them. It differs from company to companies, but where you send them their welcome emails, tell them about the line managers, tell them about when they are going to their resumption has, who are the internal stakeholders they will communicate with. All of that is an experience, and it's worth it. I mean, you feel excited. I remember when I joined my second organization and I got a welcome email. I was so pumped. I was super excited, like, God, I've never received this kind of, it has my line managers, the phone number, the emails, workers, my work tools when it's be provided, my email and my email credentials. So no, my email, but they said my credential will be sent to me on my first day of resumption. And some other things. I was so pumped, like God. Everything was so. So in that kind of thing, as an employee, I'm so pumped. I'm so excited. Like, okay, this is an enabling environment. I like it here. So that is how it is in terms of either prospective or employee. You need to ensure that your employee, even as an HR, you need to ensure that your onboarding, integration, your induction day, and the first day of induction, we had few hours to talk about the different mission, vision, their previous projects, what they are doing ongoing, and the current ongoing project, and what they tend to achieve by the end of the year. They walk us through all of that. And then the line manager came in. It was so interesting. And they gave us handbook. They walk us through the different sections, the one that was specific, because I'm an HR, so they talked this, they walked me through the one that was specific to HR in terms of confidentiality, non-disclosure, document management, and all of that. I was so pumped, right? And when I now joined, it was very, very different. It was my first time of getting to an organization where you have to call them first name basis. It's not Osama. So I was so pumped, I was feeling so excited, and I'm sure that is how some of us probably relate to this. So onboarding as an HR, we need to ensure that in terms of employee experience, you need to ensure that your onboarding and induction, integration, needs to be very, very engaging, captivating. Let people feel welcome. Well, let them feel empowered. Let them feel, yes, I'm living where I was to a very good environment. And then we go to my next one, which is employee well-being. I know somebody mentioned something about flexibility. Somebody mentioned about, let me check again. Work-life balance, right? Well-being. I know last week when we were talking about, during our pre-annual fire chat on LinkedIn, we talk about well-being, kindness, and psychology safety. Oh God, if you were not part of that live chat, you need to join next week Wednesday. It's very, very interesting. We talked about well-being of an employees. You need to also cater for them, ensure their mental state, their psychological safety, and all of that. Employee well-being is very important for us as an HR or an employee engagement specialist or person. You need to ensure that in setting your employee engagement, employee well-being needs to be catered for. Their time off, when they need to go time off, you need to ensure that they are off time work, not and you're off you're off work, but you're also working. You also need to put HMO, health insurance available for people to go off, do what they need to do during that time off. Ensure that employee as well are enabled, to do what they need to do during their time off. We also ensure that our physical environment is. So during my master's, somebody said something during when she was speaking to us. She said that when she got to a new organization, she ensured that there are plants, the physical environment is so attractive for her. When she comes there, she smells like leaf and green plants everywhere that, as you know, that enabled her to think, be creative. She has that environment. Sometimes we also need to have that physical environment to be enabling for us. And then we go to the next slide, which is career development and growth. This is very, very important. I remember there's somebody where I'm currently interviewing for a role, and she asked me a question yesterday, and she said, what is the career? No, I know people ask this question, right? But ours was quite different. And then she was like, so what's the career development and growth? And I said, you are coming as an EA to the CEO. So are you particularly talking about career? So she now said, oh, she's talking about career growth in terms of in the career development when if she maybe as an EA, maybe she then feels she doesn't feel going through this anymore. She wants to then switch to another department, another role, or something that is quite interesting for her. And I said, yes, we have that environment. So sometimes as an employee or as an HR, we need to, for an HR, right, we need to create that career development, but we need to put emphasis, we need to develop career plan, map out the skill, map out how people can also switch, in terms of career development and all of that. Make sure that in our career development plan or people improvement plan, whatever you want to have for people, or personal development plan, ensure that people are, you put them in, they are considered in this, in all of this. So career development. So last 3 years back, I was opportune to do a personal development plan for one of my clients, because I was in consulting then. And then so what I did was I had the first one-on-one with the employees. What is their plan for the year? How did they intend to achieve this and all of that? After having all of this conversation with them, I was able to map out how they want to do, because some of them started from just jumping a job. Just having a job, but then as you go on, you decide, oh, I don't think this is actually my plan. I want to move into this. I want to switch into this. And then I decided, okay, what is your first career path? What's your first career path, and what is your current, what are the other skill sets you have aside from this skill set that you have, or what you are currently on? While you are doing all of that, you already have what you are doing. As you now decide, as you grow, you have another plan. I mean, some new interests come into play, and you decide that, okay, yes, let me go with this. So as an HR, you need to, have a career development plan for everybody in your organization. Have a one-on-one with them. What do they want to do? What are they doing currently? Is it also part of their plan? Is it also is it exciting for them? Is it exciting for them on how they want to go? Maybe what did they see themselves by next year? What did they say? What's their short-term goals? What are their long-term goals? It helps to develop a career plan for everybody. And then you can be able to say, okay, you can recommend this, you can recommend that for them. And that will also help them to know that, okay, there's a career plan, there's a career development. People, HR is important, or HR is interested in my career growth. HR is developed this. So when you have all of this career development plan and growth in an organization, they are also enjoying. They have a good experience even as they come in. You can also use that to sell when you're doing your interview process. In terms of what their need, their gain, so when they come into, or what their gain will be when they come into the organization. It makes me remember somebody that said that, come to our organization, we have this, we have that, and I was like, okay. And I was like, okay, no problem. I'll come to the organization. What I want, and this. And the person said, oh, we have this. We are planning one thing very soon. We have this. We have a good experience. You have ability to do this. You cannot go for learnings, sessions, the learning you want. But we also have career mapping that we do, or skill mapping and all of that. I said, okay, so what is this? So we can go for any training. We are good. We are big on LBS. I mean, we allow people to go for training in LBS and all of that. I was like, okay. And when I was there, I was like, okay, is this what you have across board? Say, yes, that's what we have across board. We ensure that at all, every quarter, all employees must go for a training, either for short term or long term. This. I was like, okay. And I'm yet to even apply, but then you're already selling me a lot of things that's with career development and growth in your organization. You also talk about the different cadres, how they move from one level to another, and you can move from another job grade to another. And I was like, okay, you have this, you have this. And so in my head, I was just wrapping around, okay, if I'm not an employee, I will have all of these benefits. And then why am I living there? Right? And I was like, okay, it's fine. And that was it. So for career development, we need to ensure that we have good career development plan, growth for everyone in terms of change and career switch, in terms of development, in terms of cadres, how they want to grow from one level to another. You can assist them and all of that. Hi, Emmanuel. And so we have workplace communication. This has to do with the different levels of communication, where there's an open communication floor where all of us can, speak our minds, say what we feel, without somebody putting you down, or without somebody else saying that, oh, that doesn't count here, you don't have a say here. We need to ensure that in terms of communication, in terms of policies that we share, or policies that we craft, how we implement it as well. We should ensure that whatever communication we want to have internally should first be done internally before we move them to, before them getting it on social media, where we then just communicate to social media. Let it be shared with the team. Let it be the upward and downward communication system, and that will enable people to say, yes, I have a say here, I'm being valued, my points are being valued, my thoughts or my ideas are being valued here. It creates the enabling environment, a good work experience for people in the organization. Inclusive policy, we know currently all of us are big on diversity, inclusion, inclusiveness, and all of that. We also need to put this in terms of our policies. We don't just create policy in silos. I mean, you don't just create policy to say it's for us, but ensure that your policy are inclusive. You survey people's thoughts on maybe a new ideas or a new initiative or any intervention you want to share before you then come up with also get people's buy-in, get people's idea on it, to say, okay, this is what they want. We want to create a flexible work plan right now. What are your thoughts on it? Do you think we should all move back to hybrid? Do you think we should all move back to full-time on-site, or we want to change our HMO? I know that sometimes these policies are HR, we need to look at it. We need to make the decision. However, we need to sometimes ensure that people are, involved in a way so that you can get their say, you can get their ideas. Doesn't mean you have to, use everything. Get their ideas. So you want to change HMO plan from this to that. What are their thoughts? What are their feedback? And what are their experiences? We're using this HMO. We feel this can give us better, or better in terms of time and cost savings. We need to move from this. We need to move from that. Sometimes parts of it, sometimes it could be an informal conversations to say, Abimbola, how are you doing? Oh, this, just have a chat. Oh, the other day, I was just having this thought. Oh, what do you think? Do you think it's a good idea for us to do this? I think it's good, though. I don't think it's good. Sometimes we need to just get people, ensure that your policies, or every of your policies, are inclusive. You put into consideration gender, put into consideration different race, put into consideration age, generation. I mean, these different age levels. Ensure that people, you don't just make decision and say, yes, I'm looking at it from only your own point of view, rather get other people's point of views. It's not a bad idea for you to ensure that every policies you make are inclusive. And then we have public culture. I know somebody mentioned culture earlier. It's very, 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 very important. How you do your things, your organizations, how your core values drive your the way everyone behaves in organizations. Ensure that your communications, part of what I mentioned earlier, your policies, everything defines your culture, defines how people feel. I know somebody mentioned earlier flexible work plan and all of that. That's part of your culture, as well. Ensure that the things you do, there's an open communication for people to hear their views and all of that. Give them an enabling environment that will ensure that, in terms of culture, in terms of, these people are there. I mean, it's there, it's flexible, and I think I would rather stay here than going to another organizations. I know in recent times, there's so much on culture, there's so much on workplace culture, there's so much emphasis on how people do things, what makes a company distinct from the other. Ensure that your workplace culture is very, very conducive, enabling, and enabling for people to feel relaxed and able to have a good experience in that regard. Leadership and management, this cannot be overemphasized. I know that people say that is their leader, or is the CEO, he makes a decision by himself or herself, and they don't care about us. I remember in my current organization, we were moving from another phase to another phase. And then I had this stay interview with some of the other people from the other business units. And I was saying that we need to move you to the other business unit. And they were like, oh, we don't care about us. Nobody cares. Nobody listens to us. You don't do this. You don't care. You don't rate us. And I'm like, no. I joined 2022, and I had a conversation with everybody, and everything you had told me that you want that will make the environment, the work easy for you, that will make you perform optimally, has been considered. So you don't say people, leadership, they don't care, it's management. There's this small thing that people say that, it's management, anything is management, it's management, we need management approval, we need management approval on this, we need management to say this on that. If the organization are really feeling that they can't make decisions, they can't come to leaders, they can't come to management, the management are not even speaking, the communication is not coming from top to bottom and up, bottom to top, is not really an enabling environment. And we need to ensure that leaders understand how the bottom ladder employees are also feeling, and then that will also make them to get some of their buy-ins, give an open ears to them, and as a nature ensure that our policies in terms of leadership. We ensure that we drive leaders. And sometimes leaders don't know that some things are actually wrong. So we knew as an HR, because we are advisory, we need to be able to tell them that this and this, you could also create learning opportunities or learning for leaders. I mean, maybe training for leadership. They may not have the leadership skills as well, so be able to do some certain things. You need to ensure that you are creating that enabling environment for both the leaders and both the direct reports in an organization. Recognition and reward. This one, there is nothing you want to say. It is important. It is when I feel valued. It is when I get a feel of my value and organization, and I'm being rewarded for it, I stay in your organization, and that's a no-brainer. If I am saying this, I am doing this, I'm putting in a lot of effort. My works are known. I'm owning my role, and I'm recognized for it, and I'm also rewarded. Right? It is simple. It's as simple as it is. There's no two ways about it. Once I'm recognized and I'm rewarded appropriately, let me use the word appropriately, then your employee experience is going to come. Sometimes people say that it's not only the salary that makes people stay, and that is why in all of my slides, as in all of the slides I've been sharing, my previous slides, it's not about benefits, and that's why I didn't make benefits and recognition and reward as number one, right? We have every other things that make sure that can make an employee experience be great, like that can boost employees' experience, that can make them, okay, I'm staying irrespective of the odds. Recognition, it makes you. I think it was 2 weeks ago, I was sharing with the MEDR team about my current states, right? And I feel a lot of energy. I felt a lot of energy. I felt a lot of happiness. I felt excited when I did something and the CEO was like, "Oh, awesome, Tola, I love this." I kind of feel so happy. There was this butterflies in my belly when I hear that. It gives me energy to do more. It gives me reasons to, okay, do more of this. Tola, go for this. I didn't even know if they hear me. I don't even know. Maybe what I said is even does me. There's this second guessing. There's this. Well, the person will still say what he wants to say. I don't even think I need to. My opinion doesn't count. My opinion doesn't matter, And then it's if that in that regard, that person doesn't feel recognized. That person doesn't feel that our opinion is important or is valued in an organization, and that is another way of demoting an employee. Once you start hearing this, I don't know, you still do what you want to do, there's no point of saying anything. When you hear, Omo, I know they do, go do your thing, because the person has done something previously and then the person was not recognized for the work. And these things that is more common in the workplace, where the line manager will do the job, with the direct reports will do the job. You sweat it out, and then the line manager will take the glory. That thing, I think, is a subconscious thing that leaders do not know, that it demotivates an employee or it demotivates team members. When we do most of these things, maybe unconsciously, my current line manager will tell me, no, it was Omotola and I that did this. Or, no, it was done by Omotola, I only just guided her. That thing gives you a level of, yes, you are mentioning my name up there. Sometimes it is not about, the team. And sometimes you also need to state, my team and I did this. The team did it. The team did the first level of it. The team did most of the job or most of this work. The team did this. It also gives the team members, yes, I'm being valued, rather than saying, I'm the only one that is yes, I did it. Sometimes you need to make it a we thing to make them feel happy, make them feel recognized, value their input, value the number of hours they use in doing the first draft. Yes, you worked on it, you fine-tuned it, you did it, but then they also did a lot of hours. Yes, because of your years of experience, you could see the task and do it in 5 minutes. They will see the task and do it in 2 hours because that is their level. But then they put in hours, minutes, they remove every other thing on their table and put effort and put time to do this. So I think that recognizing people is as simple as, oh, Omotola, you did awesome. I loved your idea. I love this. It's a way of recognizing somebody's efforts, right? And then it makes employee, at least everybody feels rewarded, everybody will feel recognized. And it could also be as simple as, oh, putting something on LinkedIn to say, oh, I know some people, I've not seen it in recent times, where people state, oh, somebody go beyond and above and beyond. I think it's like a recommendation, something on LinkedIn, where people come to say, oh, you make work easy for me. I think it's just like that thing. I can't remember, but I've not seen it in recent times. That also motivates people. You could even just go as simple as writing something on, maybe you all just finish a project and you just put on LinkedIn to say this and this person said this body was the lead on this project, she did absolutely well. That is also, it could also come. And now I'm not coming from the organization, I'm also coming from as a leader. If you lead a team, some simple words, some very short words, or, oh, you did well, awesome, I love your idea, let's run with this. This is great, Omotola, let's keep this, let's keep at this, let's move this. Oh, Omotola, you can do this. That is a simple recognition, simple way of making the person feel loved, feel cherished, feel appreciated. Transparency and trust. I think this thing is self-explanatory. Does anybody want to tell me how you can make an employee feel, employee experience in terms of transparency and trust? I think I've been talking. We want to say one or two things about transparency and trust. Or you want to write something on transparency and trust. What did I do? Okay, yeah. Okay, so after a few minutes, okay. Yes, Bolanle, go ahead, please.
Okay, good evening, everybody. So from my own point of view, so take for example, you have employees who have issues with maybe their salary payments or something like that, right? So if they approach you as the HR personnel, it's better or easier to explain to them that, oh, this is what is happening, that your payment has not been made, or just go direct and say, oh, because your bank is having issues, that's why the account has not been able to pay, or maybe your account was not imputed correctly or something, rather than telling them that, oh, we'll get back to you. So when they hear you give is direct and precise reason why so and so things have not been done or have not gone their way yet, they have this peace of mind. Okay, this is what is actually happening. Maybe this will go this way, or maybe they are taking care of it at their end. So they feel more at peace when you're transparent with them concerning issues like this.
Thank you so much, Bolanle. Let your yes be yes. Someone said let your yes be yes and let your no. Sheyi said transparency could be ensuring that employees are aware of the code of ethics, conduct of the organization. No employee is oblivious of the reward and consequences of the actions and inactions. Awesome. Thank you so much, Bolanle. Thank you so much, Sheyi. I want to give a personal experience about transparency. People, HR, employees already have an idea about HR to say, HR. They will not tell you. They have a way of saying it. They have a cunning way of always, saying things. They will not tell you how it is. They don't trust HR. I spoke with a candidate 2 weeks ago, and the person said, I never had a good experience with HR. HR are liars. They will never tell you the truth about things. And I was dumbfounded because, when you are trying to, the person already had their mindsets, right? And then you are saying, you are trying to tell the person that is not how it is actually. You're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that. And the person said, no, that's not how it is. I've never experienced that. Our HR doesn't do that. But then, just like Shay said, ensure that everything is blue, and or if it's blue, it's blue. If it's gray, it's gray. Say yes and do the yes. Say no and do the no. Not trying to cook books or say what it not. Make everything clear. So if you are going from one level, one to another in terms of the job grades and this, let everybody knows that you need to do this. You need to have this particular rating for you to move to next level. You need to have a particular rating for you to move to another job grade. You need to the things we are supposed to do. This is your, if you have this, if you involve in any infraction and all of that, this is the consequence of your action. If you do this, this is what it's going to lead to. It gives everybody a level of, and then if you are communicating in terms of anything, make it clear to employees that, oh, this is it. I will speak to the management, or I will speak with my line managers about this. According to the policy, this and this is the possible outcome. However, if it is the other way around, there is also a flexibility all over that. People will make sure that, oh, it is fine. We'll work by it. She has said this and this is going to transparency. Ayomide said, can you mute, please? So Ayomide said transparency means laying all cards, or God bless you, laying all cards on the table and ensuring that there is no hidden agendas behind every policy. For trust, I believe HR should be responsible enough to be able to keep their words, and even when an employee tells you something in secret, to keep it that way. And if you need to share with management, do it discreetly. I mean, anonymous, to ensure that. And that's why I tell people, when you are even sometimes when you are doing your surveys, make it anonymous. I know when people will say, we are doing this survey is going to be anonymous, but then you're also making them to put their department. And that department, you already know that there's just 2 people that are female. You now put the agenda. And in that way, you already know that the agenda is in that department. Let's say for HR, we have just 3 people and they are all females, or they are 2 female, 1 male. And you put the agenda, you put the department, you are not making it anonymous. And then people will not be able to be free. And we know that it's because of this lack of transparency and trust that when we send out surveys, people don't feel it. Because they just feel like, I don't trust them. Why am I feeling these surveys? Why am I feeling this? Why am I giving them my feedback? Right? But when we make it transparent, we make them understand that this is the main purpose for doing this. This is what our end goal is. We want to do this from level 1 to level 2, and then ensure that this is, I want everyone to work with us through all of these phases. It makes people feel, okay, this is the end goal. There is trust. Okay, they are showing it. But if you decide that, oh, we want to do this, okay, tomorrow, this is how it is. I don't know, the employee will not feel free to want to believe us. And as an HR, we have a lot of things to do, honestly speaking. People already have a bias, but then ensure that in your own quota, in your own territory, you are changing the narrative. Be that unique person. Bring that enabling environment. Bring that trust into play. Bring that transparency, and then you won't believe the number of people that you are changing. Somebody said when they feel a survey, ensure not to use it against them. Exactly. That's also another thing. It's not that, oh, you are telling them, I want your inputs. I want you to share your thought on this. I want you to do that. But then at the long run, they are using it against them. You want them to do this. However, you are going to meet them to fill the survey. You are going to, say, we want to have this, we want to put this intervention, we want to put this strategy. But then because they have said this is their preference, you now say, oh, because they've said that is their preference. No, we are not going to do it. We are going to do another one. Why? Then why do we survey? What is the essence of the survey when we are doing that against their own? And then we are making them feel, we are not giving them that trust, as expected. And then we have the impact of enhanced employee experience strategies, as in when we have all of these things, once we have all we mentioned, the transparency, the workplace culture, the workplace communications, we have employee engagement initiatives that are enhanced, we have employee well-being really experienced. I mean, a very good one. People are open to say what they want to say. You feel they make them, you recognize them, you reward them for the work they do. You create an open communications. Their thoughts, their ideas are being valued. You work with them. What do you think will happen? I mean, when all of these are in place, these things are obvious. We all know what these things will be. So let me open the floor for people to tell me what you think the impact will be when you have all of these things good, employee well-being, all of these things in place, and people are really enjoying what they are doing. I mean, their workplace environment is so you've boosted everything that needs to be boosted, for lack of better words. What do you think this will yield for the organization and even as an HR? I'm waiting. Do I call people? Because I want to call. Prince Obiaku, I just want to disturb you for a few minutes. What do you think will be the effects of having a good experience in the workplace, having create a very great enabling environment for employees? And Abosede, I'm coming to you. Tell me, what do you think will be the impact? These are simple things. We have them. You as an employee, not even as an HR, what do you think having all of this?
All right.
Yeah, thank you, Bosse.
Okay, well done. So, of course, it's going to be like a win-win thing. You're taking care of them, they would also take care of you. They're going to bring all of themselves to the table. They know you are thinking about them, you are mindful about them. They would also be mindful and be intentional about making sure the organization succeed and give their best because they know you have them in mind. So they have the organization too in mind.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Abosede. Toyin Fadipe.
All right. Hello, everyone. So one of the impacts that just comes to mind is increased productivity, right? So it shows that you're basically listening to the employees and they have the best interest of the company at heart. So it becomes natural for them to just meet the objectives of the company. They're not struggling to meet their KPIs. It just become natural because they have the tools they need. They have the resources they need. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toyin. Awesome. Any other person want to give one or two before I move to my slide? Aminat said, Esther first said, sorry, Ayomide, sorry. Cynthia said increase employee retention, awesome. Low turnover, awesome. Gifts. Palumi said improve work experience, employees, easy recruitment due to positive referrals, awesome. Christina said happy people. Esther said productivity is increased. Ayomide said you will have a productive and loyal workforce. Emphasis on loyal. And even sanctions are applied for defaulters. No one would think the HR is the evil villain. Ayomide, oh God, one Zobo for you. Or if you see me in the conference, just come and meet me. Esther said gives a sense of belonging. Awesome. Amina gives a long way for employer. Amina, don't worry. I'll give you another Zobo. It goes a long way for employer brand, good retention and engagement, less toxic environment. Thank you, SOA. Omorobe, I can't find the second one. Then Oluwayemisi said low staff turnover. Thank you so much, everyone. Your inputs are awesome. So let's start with what I have. Yes, before then, Jim Goodnight said treat employees like they make a difference, and they will, honestly. Once you make them feel they make a difference, then they will definitely make the difference. They will go up and above. They will give everything. Loyalty will just be like easy. They will just dashing the loyalty out. And I have all of these things here. I have increased employee engagement, increased efficiency and productivity, higher retention rate, attraction of top talent, innovation and creativity, positive organization culture, higher employee advocacy, enhanced collaboration and teamwork. All of this and more are things that would give what would result of this having a good experience, employee experience in an organization. People will be the one referring for, people will literally be the ones that don't go, yeah, anytime you have an opening, just let me know. I need to come to your organization. I have somebody that's been disturbing me. Any small thing, they'll just do the posting. And I'll be like, guy, no, I'm not posting. In my organization, we do this. When you are doing this, we do that. I'm like, wait, calm down, right? It's because they are having a good experience, employee experience in the organization. You know, like just like I said earlier about enabling environment, when they are, whatever they say, their inputs are being valued. Innovation and creativity. People, especially the creative staff, once you have all of that, especially the Gen Zs, in short, everybody, once you feel that what they are doing is doing, what they are doing, I mean, what you are giving them is good enough, they're ready to do everything. The culture will be there, higher employee advocacy, you are fighting their fight for them, you know. You also enhance collaboration and teamwork. Everybody is doing another work. You will not be able to, you will not see anybody doing their work and say, oh, putting people under the bus for no reason. Everybody is together. We are doing it together. You know, there's teamwork and all of that. And more of this can also come into play as effect of having a good experience, a positive work experience as an organization. Also, there will be there's also the, as we have a good one, there will not be the, what then happen if organizations neglect employee experience, just the way we have opposite all of these good things we mentioned about employees, we then have a lot of negative, a lot of effects or bad effects when employees do not put into practice, or we do not put good employee experience, I mean, good initiative, employee engagement, all of those things. If they don't have all of that, then what are the effects? What will happen in that regard? Then I have this, there will be high turnover rates, employee morale will be very, very low. There will be increase of operational costs because nobody cares. I don't care. Everybody just do what they need to do and boom, that's it. There will be diminished corporate culture. There will be resistance to change. If you say you want to do this, some people will just sit down in Yaba, another person will be in Kwatangora. Everybody will just be here because what's their own? They're just doing their own, passing time, collecting the bill and move on. There'll be difficulty in succession planning. Guess what? Succession planning is very important. You know, as we move up the ladder, you should be able to have people that will mirror you in case of anything, in case you are going on leave. People can deputize you, people that you are seeing that, oh, this person has that potential. Oh, let's map out in the next 3 years, she should have grown to be this. You know, who cares? Like, I can't even stay 3 years here. Whatever you are planning will not even work. Before you know, the person you are planning for succession is already out. You are seeing the person's designation. The person doesn't feel enabled. The person doesn't feel like I'm being valued here. There will be negative employer brand. That one is just there. You know, people will not be able to say, oh, this is my organization. You see, I wanted to say something, but that thing will not be good on this platform. I wanted to say something around employer brand, where people will just, people will not be proud that they are a staff of a particular organization, because you can't call that brand and they don't want to be associated with that brand. Their employee rather, but they don't want to be associated. So you just see that, oh, yes, I work for one of the companies in the industry, in the renewable energy industry. Oh, yes. They will not say, okay, so what? No. I'll leave it anonymous. I don't want, because they don't want that. They don't want to be associated with that organization, because the person doesn't have a good employer brand out, and people, there's a lot of bad culture, toxic culture, and all of that. Definitely increase absenteeism. I will make up for stories every day. I will definitely make up for reason why I'm not in the office today, because what's the essence of being in the office? Why some persons are putting me under the bus, why some other persons are not making me empowered enough to do my job, or empowered enough to take decisions. I am a leader, but then I can't take decisions. I'm a leader, but then I have to go and meet another, play politics, or maybe do a favorism for me to be able to make that, for that policy to pass, or for what I want, or my request to pass, right? Yes. I'm almost done, because this is our last slide. Do you have another person that wants to give me other points from all of this in terms of the negative impact when employees do not have a good employee experience? Or do we have like a relatable experience where you have a bad experience with a brand or with an organization? Yes, commitment, low employee commitment. I'm trying not to say anything, but to be honest with you, a lot of people do not have high commitments. I mean, they will just be like, Mom, let me do 3 jobs. Let's do this, let's do that together. The commitment is not there because what they are doing is not, they are not really enjoying the experience and all of it. Yes. This is likely my last slide, which says employees who believe that management is concerned about them as a whole person, not just as an employee, are more productive, more satisfied, more fulfilled. Satisfied employees means satisfied customers, and which leads to productivity. That is what Annie Macaulay's is. And I have actually read that resonates with everything I've been saying since, that once employee believes that the management is concerned about them, about their well-being, about their growth, about their jobs, about their inputs, about their importance of their role in organizations, how the overall goals are being achieved together as a team, they feel productive. I mean, they feel satisfied. I mentioned earlier when I talked about when somebody commented on and made me feel like, said something about what I did in the last few weeks. I was so happy. I was so fulfilled. I was geared up, pumped to do more. Pumped to say, okay, let's go forward. Let's do this. What other things do you want us to put into place and all of that? And I think that should be everyone's experience as an employee, to say that, oh, this is enabled, this is that, this is what I have, this is what I'm experiencing, this is what the organization have provided for us, and so I am ready to put in I'm ready to put in more effort. I'm satisfied, I'm fulfilled. It gives you more productivity, and once you do your job 100, you definitely will make the organization growth, and they will make profits, which is definitely, except it's a non-profit organization. But once you are doing all of this, and meaning it's a two-way thing. It's as an employee and also an employer. One, you as an employer give me that enabling environment. I, as the employee, will doing more, will give me more efforts, more loyalty. I'll do more of my job. I'll be more productive. I'll be satisfied, and then there will be two coming into one. Yes, both the management and HR will end up being frustrated, and Sasha will end up not being able to handle. Thank you, low motivation. Thank you, Tari. Yes, and that is all of my slide. Now, over to you, Prince. In case you have any questions, I am here for that.
Thank you, Omotola, for that very engaging session. So very quickly, we're going to take questions. So should you have questions for our guest speaker for today, please use the raise hand feature. Then we'll let you unmute. Then you ask your questions. Questions can also be dropped in the chat box, right? So I'll have my eyes in the chat box. Should we have any questions? You can also raise your hand if you have any questions for the speaker. Thank you once again, Omotola. It was a very, very engaging session. Going through the chat box, you can see all the conversations going on about employee engagement and the strategies which you highlighted. Thank you very much. All right, so I'll just keep looking out for questions. Okay, I see a question just dropped. That's from Tari. So Tari says, I'd like to confirm, when putting out a state interview survey, should it be outrightly anonymous, or it's fair to have the department for proper reporting? Omotola?
Yeah, I know. So for stay interviews, to be honest with you, I rather prefer my stay interviews to be physical and just be the one-on-one, because it is at that point they are free to talk. It's at that point they're able to, express themselves. You can read their pulse, you can read their body language. If they're saying some other things, you'll be able to say, okay, this, because is when you say, but that is for me, right? I don't know how you want to your organization is how you want to structure it. Do you want to just make a stay interview survey for everybody to just, because it also gives a vibe of you don't care about me, right? That's my own perspective. But when I want to do a stay interview, I ensure my stay interview is one-on-one. I come to speak with you. What are you experiencing? What is happening? What can we do? How else can we enhance your work? Do you have work tools, issues? All of that. What do you have to say about our culture? We want to bring this. Do you feel more better? Do you feel more empowered? I feel that the interview should be a one-on-one, not a survey, because survey will just be like, they want me to talk now. Yeah, let me talk. And don't forget what we mentioned about transparency and trust, right? But if you want to now go for survey, I think because you need to analyze the data, I think you can make it anonymous. You can, but to be honest with you, I just feel that you should have your stay interview one-on-one. It gives a level of, oh, I'm here with you, I'm here for you. You are here together.
All right, thank you, Omotola. I don't know if we have anybody that wants to add to that. If you do, you can raise your hand and we can let you unmute. All right, so we have another question from Ayomide. So she says, okay, Tony, your hand is up. Yeah, go ahead and unmute.
All right, thank you very much. I think I very much agree with Omotola on this one. When you send out surveys, communication with the employee and some sort of, okay, you understand me, you want to hear from me, I would want to hear from what I have to say. Survey could give the opinion, or okay, just talk. Let's just document what you say. Looking into the person's eyes. So I think it gives the human touch to the one-on-one stay interviews. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Much appreciate your contributions. All right, so I'll quickly take Ayomide's question. What should the HR do when there are new areas you think will help you achieve a more effective workforce? The management is refusing to implement. For instance, if employees' absenteeism are high and the management is writing that it is not to implement, refusing to implement, I'm trying to find the question. I think it got lost.
Implement your suggestion. I think that was it. I have a question though. What should the HR do when there are new areas you think will help you achieve a more effective workforce and the management is refusing to implement? Say, for instance, if employees' absenteeism rate are high and the management is writing in that not to implement your suggestion. I don't know. Is that what you read?
Yes, please go ahead.
I think for employee HR, we meet different management, and in my own instance, my own little years of experience with this situation or something similar to this, I use data to ensure that I'm able to defend it with, say, oh, this is what it is with, we have a high rate of absenteeism, this and what it has caused. So sometimes you need to come from the employer point of view, right? Before you come in as an employee, right? I mean, so if you have issues, high rate of absenteeism, what the effect of this high rate of this absenteeism is causing, right? Give a data, maybe in a year, in a month rather, or in a week. This is what this thing has raised. This is what it caused. Because of the absences, it has given the people that were in the office times 10 of their job deliverables, and because of that, it's affecting their productivity level. Show data, try to present it to say, oh, this is what it is. If you don't have this, this is what is caused, this is what is caused, this is what is caused, this is also what is costing the manager and the organization, because the quality of work done is not high again, because three person's job is what one person is doing, and because of that, that person is already, overburdened and all of that. Show data, show results to say this is what this high absenteeism is caused, and also put in some other data. It could be in terms of maybe one of the reasons why they're also not just like what I mentioned. One of the reasons why there's high absenteeism is that maybe you as an HR do not even have some of a good culture. You don't have a open communication for people to air their views or get their buy-in into some things. They don't trust. There's no transparency with government. So you have data. Just try to get data to show to the management that this and this are the effects of this. It's not that they are not listening to you. Maybe because they are not really showing data, showing reasons why this is it. That could also be part of it. I don't know. I think I want to call Mo to put your opinion on this question.
So, Omotola, thanks for the session. Great insight that you have shared. For me, as I was reflecting on some of the things that you mentioned, just an image or an analogy comes to mind. When you look in the mirror, who do you see, Omotola? So I often say to leaders that self-awareness and self-reflection go together. I don't know if that makes sense, Omotola. So, and we find it hard to even tell ourselves the bitter truth when there are signs everywhere. So for me, it's important that we look inwardly first before you look outwardly. It's very important. When you look inwardly, if we really want to be honest with ourselves in diagonizing any issue, all right, whether the issue turned out positive or negative, you had a role to play. And this comes from my training as an executive coach. There's what we call the 3-person perspective, that for every issue that happened, there are the 2 players in the situation, and then there's a third party, an observer. Most oftentimes, when you see things from the lens of the observer, clarity and awareness comes. So my take would be, let's start with ourselves. We are the man or the woman in the mirror. Let's start. Before you start trying to say what else can be done, ask yourself, what did you do to contribute to what is going on? All right. Those would be my thoughts around what you said, and they are entrenched in self-reflection and self-awareness. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Elmo. I'm so sure Ayomide understand better now, and you know what to do from Monday. Don't wait till get what you need to do. Ensure that before you go to the management and raise this. I know sometimes I think one thing I noticed that happens when you feel management are not listening to us is there will not be a nonchalant attitude. Even you as the HR, you are supposed to be the advocate, like you should be the bearer of all of this. You then become nonchalant about a lot of things, and you're like, I don't care. Should be have spoken to management are not hearing. And when we have tsunami of resignation, they will hear at that time. Sometimes we don't, we as an HR, we shouldn't be in that space. Ensure that you keep, you can't be cut off fresh. I mean, you shouldn't be the one to be. I know that we are human. We also need to, sometimes we feel tired. Sometimes we feel like nobody's hearing us. What should we do? But then, as an HR, we need to ensure that, just like Emu said, you look at yourself, see what have you been doing? I mean, to ensure that, okay, the management are also seeing my work. They are seeing what I'm doing. I'm also trying to do this to ensure that organizations are efficient and organization employees are efficient in what they do. And then they will see it and then they will come back to you. Elizabeth said, who should you be loyal to more as an HR? Between the organization and the employee, and in a situation where the management is not transparent in their dealing. I don't know. I don't know at this point, because it's not like, what I've learned? I learned something recently. You're not here, you're not there. You're just sitting on the fence. Because in all of this, don't forget that you're also an employee. That is my take. I'm not saying you should be that. You are aiming to tilt to this side, tilt to that side. But I will particularly want to call somebody to answer this question in a better way from, I'm looking for you and I'm not finding you. Yetunde Emba. I don't know the reason why I called you, but then I'm calling you. In this case, would you want to be tilting towards the employee, or you want to tilt towards the employer in a case of lack of transparency? Who will you tilt towards? Yeah, type. Yetunde, just type. Even because the ones
Omoti, I wasn't paying attention really. I just heard my name and that was what called my attention. So I can't even respond.
Let me tell you. The question says, who would you be loyal to between employee and organization in a situation whereby the management is not transparent in their dealings?
Oh my goodness. So who will I be loyal to? I can't be loyal to the employee. I can't be loyal to the employer. I mean, Nigeria's situation defines what you do. That's how it goes for me. I'm a lawyer, for goodness sake. I'm in the middle. I try to be diplomatic. If management is not tilting towards the employee, I give the employee other suggestion in where, to find a situation where the employee too can find, can manage up. That's how it is, what it is in the country now. First of all, I'm being engaged by the organization. Fine, organizations are not always right most of the time. However, that is why you're an HR, a middle person in the middle. You see from the organization point, you see from the employee point, and many a times you do your side counseling to the employee, despite knowing that yes, the organization is not, is not in tune, or the organization is not, is not being gracious to this employee. You do your own counseling in which you help the employee and everybody will be fine last. That's how it is. It is what it is in our country. Everybody will be fine last.
Thank you so much. A very political response and a very straightforward. Isn't it just give you? It's not left for you to decide which side you want to go to. Take away yesterday's own or be diplomatic. Somebody said here that it is not, so he said it's not white and black. AHRP said, be fair, employee appreciates when you give them professional advice, honestly. And that is where that transparency and trust come into play. Yes, this is what's happening. You are not in the know of this. I have that incident exactly July. We had a new management and there was a need for me to, a lot of things where everybody was just quiet because we don't know what's happening. And then when people come to me and say, this is what I know, this is what I'm privy to currently, right? I don't know what is happening, but I would advise you to, you know, stay on doing your job when you need to deliver your job, and all of that. I don't know what is happening on the other side. I am only privy to what information I have, and then to show my transparency and to, you know, they already trust me, and that's why they're coming to me to say, Tola, this is what is happening, this is what's happening. I'm not hearing anything, it's so quiet from the other side. I'm like, this is what I'm privy about. I don't know what is happening. However, I feel you should do this, do your job. And when the right time is come from the management to spread the good news, they will spread the good news to everyone. Emphasis to remember you're also an employee. Sure, the diplomacy is important. You can't say, oh, this is what it is. You are also an employee, but at the same time, in this case, you also need to be able to, you know, be like diplomacy has to just come into play. I think you should try to find a balance. You really don't have to pick a side, but diplomatic, Taryn, you know now, you know the deal. Thank you so much. And somebody sent me a DM. Somebody said, thank you. How do you change the retention of an employer from the notion that you are doing, this question passed my big pay grade, though, but then I'll say it out. How do you change the retention of the employer from the notion that they are doing the employee a favor to understanding that it's a mutual beneficial contract? Let me repeat again. How do you change the orientation, employers' orientation? I mean, maybe management or CEO, the founder, that I'm doing you a favor by employing you. However, you need to be able to show and make them to understand that it's a mutual thing. I am here to help you do your delivery. You are supposed to also pay me, right? You're not paying me because I am here. Like, you're not just paying me, but it's a mutual thing. It's a transactional thing. I wanted to call Thelma before. Thelma, I'm calling you because it is you, Omori. So how do you deal with employer? How do you change employers' mindset that feels that they are doing employees favor rather than make them understand that it's a transaction, as in it's a mutual beneficial relationship? Thelma, just unmute. Do me that honors. Or who else can help us to dissect this question? I mentioned that it's beyond my pay grade. Go Thelma. Yeah, thank you. Toyin said sometimes the gradual process. Sometimes you have to use data to back up your claim. It keeps further. Yeah, thank you. Anyone wants to help? I mentioned it's beyond my pay grade, though. Maybe because I've not experienced it before. So that's why I'm saying it's beyond my pay grade. How do you change employees' mindset from, you know, saying that employees are, you know, that you do them a favor over making them understand that it's a mutual thing? For me, right, at the top of my head, what I feel you can do is, it is hard though, to be honest, because employers, CEOs, owners, founders, they always feel like, I think it's part of this employee experience point of view. You show them data, you show them the effects of this, what negative effects would be, make them understand that there is people. I mean, you can't do anything without the people. I know I have had this stance in the last few weeks where somebody said, fire everybody and I'll get new people to come on board. And I'm like, no, if you fire everybody, you get another people, and they will also leave. Just like the way you wake up one morning and feel that you want to fire everybody will go, and you know, and then that will be the end. And what will you do? You can't do the job while you are looking for another person. Don't forget that talent is even hard to get right now. Yes. I just got a DM, and the person said from that text message, from that loyalty between employer and employer. The person said loyalty is to the employer, but you have a responsibility to the employees. I honestly don't know where this came from, but it happens in my head. Okay, thank you so much. So
Hello,
please,
Omotola.
thank you.
Hello, Omotola.
I'm here.
So I think I have a different perspective on the loyalty divide, okay? While it's okay to play diplomacy, and I totally understand the angle Yetunde Hemba and other people have come from, I would also like to bring in the mix of values and professionalism. And it's very, very important. You see, I often say to HR practitioners that while it is okay for you to choose not to play organizational politics or not, you cannot afford not to be professional in the execution of your work. Because you see, one of the things staying true to values and professionalism does for you is that it enhances your credibility and the value of the contributions you bring to the table. So when we talk about loyalty, and we are members of CIPM, I think that first, our loyalty should stay true to professionalism and values. All right? Because the truth is, I've had the privilege of going through diverse mergers and acquisitions in my career. And even if you check the Bible says there was a Pharaoh that arose that knew not Joseph. While it is good to preach loyalty, all right, for me, the loyalty thing, and maybe we'll have a HR clinic around that. Let the learning team just take note, where we bring experienced professionals and we'll talk about the loyalty thing. It's very, very important that we must be very careful. And I'll share a story, true life story of a friend as I try to create context and relatability around the subject of loyalty. One of my very close friends, all right, had risen to HR director level at the age of 40. He's nearing his 50s now. Great guy and all of that. Did not understand this context, this concept I'm telling you about. And so was playing organizational politics anyhow, where he was stepping on toes. Something's happened. The MD of the company was eased off and a new managing director was appointed. And then some of the people who he had wronged, one of them was now promoted as deputy managing director. Guess what happened? From that time on, he will be in an ExCo meeting, but he will feel like he's not part of the team. And you know that sense, that feeling, when they must have had the meeting before the meeting and they are just coming to the meeting and they are just giving you instructions. When he shared that experience with me, I said to him, I said, you had gone out of line of professionalism. So I tell HR professionals, stay true to professionalism and values. You see those two things, they will enhance your credibility and worth as a HR practitioner. Apart from being competent and knowing your onions, you need to stay true to professionalism and values. Let nobody find fault in the work you do. Let nobody give room to say, if it is Mo, he doesn't know his left from his right. Finally, to HR practitioners, this is an added advice. When you are on phone conversations with people, be careful and mindful of what you say. Take it as someone may be recording you without your content, without your consent, and can go and play back that conversation. I've had friends who have lost their jobs because they said something carelessly on the phone. Unknown to them, the other party was recording them, was acting as a mole or spy. And I can go on and give you diverse perspectives on this loyalty thing. I would say avoid favorites, avoid being blindsided. You see, we all have blind spots, but we must, like I talked about self-awareness and self-reflection, we must be self-aware and mentally aware. We must understand the rules of the game. And then I pray lastly that God will give us wisdom, because in all of these things, we all need wisdom. And may we not get into trouble, and may we not be victims of foolish interactions and decisions. I rest my case. We will curate a learning session where we will talk about these organizational issues, loyalty, organizational politics, all this, because the truth is they are very intricate. And if we are not mindful of them, a lot of us will enter deep waters and then we'll begin to have regrets and begin to blame ourselves. All right, let me stop there for want of time, but I believe that a word is enough for the wise. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Emo. Emma, I wanted you to talk on the part where the last question I said is beyond my pay grade, where where employee is finding it difficult to where you need to make employer feels that it's a mutual transaction rather than they seeing employee. I mean, from the employer point of view, that you are doing them a favor.
Well, Omotola, again, our role as HR practitioners is a thankless role, colleagues. And when Yetunde Hemba talked about staying in the middle, the truth is sometimes staying in the middle is even more difficult. And here is why. You see, sometimes the middle can be misinterpreted as being indifferent or you don't care. But a lot of people who don't sit in our shoes don't understand that sitting in the middle sometimes preserve our safety in the organization and mental health. But back to the question, all right? And here is my sincere, honest take. When I'm faced with those situations, Omotola, I speak to facts, not minding sentiments, all right? That has always bailed me out in my entire 17-year HRO career now. I speak to the facts. What do the facts say? And I provide context and objectivity around it, not minding whether the facts are not pleasant to certain people. Most often times, when you start from the place of facts, it saves you a lot of trouble without having to add your own perspective. Here is why adding your own perspective can be detrimental. Some people will think you are taking sides. If we are going to remain unbiased speak to the facts of the matter. Avoid playing favorites and avoid being someone who people will misinterpret. I'll give you an example. One of my friends a few years ago, when he was doing his confirmation appraisal, you know what the MD told him? He said that you are too sentimental and emotional, that you are not objective. So he asked him why. He said, you're always defending employees. Everything is about the employees. I've never seen in management meeting defend the employer. When he told me, you know what I told him then? I said, see, bros, you cannot afford to be seen by management being overtly focused on employees. That's why the delicate balance of the middle is the toughest role we play. So most often times, I say start from the place of facts, progress from the place of facts to the place of emotions. When you combine the place of facts and the place of emotions, then you can make a logical, not logical, you can make a decision that can appeal to everyone. All right. But like I said, Omotola, and I'm sure the learning team is listening to me, we need to curate a learning session that talks about these intricate issues that are not left or right, but some form of wisdom and experience by seniors in the room who have handled them will equip the younger ones in the room to navigate those issues. I see Larry's hands is up. Let's give him the floor.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much, Emo. I align with you, but I just want to bring another perspective to that question. And when I read the question about that fellow or that CEO that believes that employees are just tools with which they achieve what they want to achieve, so that they mean nothing. Now, as HR, in this particular instance, you want to convince that kind of person. I will also tilt that the HR should actually come from strategic point of view. And when we talk about strategic HR, we are saying that, okay, you are looking at the organization, this is where we are going. And then, so in doing that, because you are strategic, you want to actually ensure that you have a performance management plan such that every, no matter what the system you're using, that people are actually involved in the actualization of those goals and objectives. Now, when you are able to, that's why I said that I'm coming from this. When you're able to align that properly, and such person is saying that so and so that we have agreed to do, the employees are actually plugging it to make it happen. Remember that this person is actually set in his way. But if you are able to do that over time, that I believe it's something that should actually shift the focus of that person. Now, why you this angle is because you also you are coming from his side. So that, if we treat them this way, if we're able to achieve, so let's give them, let them do this so that we can achieve this. Remember, you are setting the KPIs or whatever system you are using, but he is seeing that, okay, the corporate objectives or goals or whatever you call it, you want to achieve them, but you have actually aligned it with people. He or she should be able to see himself, okay, they are not just the tools, they are part of the system. Having said that, if the sole CEO then refuses to change, I will now go back to what we say in CIPM. We are not fit for every place. If you see that this person is not seeing from that perspective that is set in his way, or he or she is set in his way, then we say resignation can be an option. That's my thought. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Emo. Thank you so much, Larry. It's been awesome. There's a last question here, but I assume that the person would the question will be answered, literally. Where he said HR should not, okay, I don't think that's it. That is a question. Okay. How can HR maintain transparency and trust in an organization where management can't keep their words and promises? I don't know. I think as an HR, just like what Emo said, we are just there to be advisory, try what we can do, keep on giving data to show what's the reasons why they need to keep transparency and trust, because this is what the result, just like one of the what happened to people, what happened to organization when they don't have a good employee experience, show them why it is going to be, what the result will be. And if you have this thing happening already, show it to them, show you that this is what you're supposed to do. If not, you will lose your great talent. And that will be all from me. Thank you, everyone. Over to you, Prince.
Thank you, Omotola. I believe it's been a wonderful session, very engaging, I must admit. And definitely for those that have stayed on the call to this time, you've gotten value for your time. And of course, the conversation doesn't stop here. The conversation continues. We still have the very last pre-conference masterclass. And right after that, we have the 2024 annual conference happening between the 29th of August and the 31st of August. Of course, this is a hybrid conference. The first 2 days will be virtual, while the last day, which is the gala night, would hold at Radisson Blu, Ikeja GRA in Lagos. For those of us that are yet to register, please do that, as the deadline is very well approaching. And of course, we want to see everybody there live. We want to put faces to names. We want to network and get to know you a lot more. And of course, the conference will be graced by seasoned HR professionals, top leaders, and like as you can see from the flyer, these are very, very seasoned professionals. And of course, the conference always delivers value, and this year will not be different. This is the 7th conference, and this will be one of the biggest ever, so you don't want to miss it. All right. For those requesting certificate for this session, you can request for your certificate via the link in the chat box right now. Okay. Just visit the link and enter the topic for this session and fill out the other details, and you have your certificates sent to you within the next week. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Thank you to our guest speaker, Omotola We hope to have you again with us very soon. For those that have joined us, thank you, and enjoy the rest of your evening. See you at the conference.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Omotola.